How's it going? We have kind of an odd configuration in our house that makes things a little bit difficult to cool down the upstairs. Downstairs is a different story. We have these industrial ducts that really pump air downstairs. And we have this pretty massive stairwell that as the cold air is coming in downstairs, it pumps the hot air upstairs. Also, the thermostat is upstairs on the landing. And so as the hot air is pumped up there, the thermostat continues to read that hot air and keeps pumping the cold air downstairs, which makes a really pretty massive differential in the temperature in the house. Downstairs it could be in the 60s, upstairs it could be in the upper 70s. And that makes things a little difficult for us to regulate the temperature of the house. And that's also a problem because typically Victoria will be downstairs. Louie's having a little temper tantrum over there. If you're interested in who Louie is, I'll put a video up here. But Victoria tends to be downstairs, whether she's working or watching TV or whatever, and I'll be in my office, which is upstairs. And the problem is I tend to be really hot-natured, which means I don't like it hot. Victoria tends to be really cold-natured, which means she doesn't like it cold. And so we're constantly adjusting the thermostat to try to regulate things unsuccessfully for the most part to get things comfortable. We've got some days coming up here this coming week that are going to be well into the hundreds. It's going to be very, very hot, which means it's going to be very, very difficult for us to address this. Not only that, when we've got the AC on full blast, it's using up a lot of energy and costing us money. So I was looking for potential solutions for this, and this is what I ran into. This is a personal air cooler, the Snowman Light Bright. Louis apparently likes it. He's kind of in love with it, I think. But anyway, so I bought this. We're going to check it out today and see what we think. And see if it might be a solution for us to, hopefully I don't get a copyright strike, Louis. Okay. So let's unbox it. I haven't looked at it. Let's check it out. See how it works. All right, so we have one big unit. We have a water tank. There's a notice on top in the box that says the instructions and the power cables are inside the water reservoir. So let's get in there and see how this thing works. All right, so we've got a water reservoir with a little thing down here. This is what it connects to. Clearly a way to disperse some of the water. And it slides on these rails here. Looks like we've got a USB-C power cable. They did not provide us a charging block, so I think it's supposed to be powered by a block, not that it charges and can be used that way. So let's read the instructions though and get the details on that. All right, we have a manual. And it says, the personal air cooler is specifically designed to cool, humidify, and purify the personal zone around you by creating a local microclimate within an area of 43 square feet. It can blow out the moist, cool air and purify the big particle dust and hair. All right. I don't know how much humidity I want in the room. I've got some equipment in here that I don't particularly want to be dampened. Safety regulations, be sure to use the included USB with the enclosed 2-amp power adapter. There is no power adapter enclosed. They specifically said that there would be no 2-amp power device enclosed. When the device filled with water, it must be placed on a horizontal plane. When the device is filled with water, please don't move. Make sure the water does not splash or flow to the top panel. Makes sense. Always satisfying. Also, look, we've got vents. All right, and on the back here, we've got the vent, and we have the plug for the power cord. Basically, it just says go fill up the water tank. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to migrate over to my desk, because once we place this down, I want it to be stable in where it's going to be, because I don't want to slosh the water around. So let's go adjourn over here to the desk with Louie and continue on. All right, there is no fill line on the reservoir, but let's go ahead and let's put a reasonable amount of water in it just to test it out. All right, let's plug it in for the first time and see what happens. Okay, it's powered on. It says place the device in an area that is 20 to 40 inches away from you for optimal operation. Rotate the rotary knob that's here on the side. If you don't need cold air, you can choose not to add water. That's interesting. The device will blow air at normal temperature. Well, that's just a fan, right? For a better cooling effect, please add ice water or place ice cubes inside the water tank. So they call it the wind speed here. This is really just the fan speed. So you can have off and on. Power button is here. You can increase the fan speed by increments by pressing the plus and minus on the corners here. And you can hear the motor power down. Or a long press and it will go down quite a bit. So there are a couple of wind modes. There's what's called a natural mode, which isn't explained, so we're going to look at that. And then we have sleep mode, where there's a timer. If you press and hold the power button, it gives you the option for setting what the timer is for sleep. Let's see what natural mode looks like. And the fan kicks down a little bit. Basically, it's gone all the way down to nothing. My guess is it's just going to oscillate the fan from nothing to probably full speed, just to give a sensation of change. Also, the water tank has an RGB light in it, so we can turn that on by pressing the sun button in the top left. And we have blue, purple, red, green, blue, green, blue. Too bright for you, Louie? Louie's creeping now. Also, you can adjust the brightness by pressing and holding the sun button. And that looks to be about as bright as it gets, which is not very bright, but still, it's nice. All right, now the question of the day is, there's a couple of questions I bet you have. How loud is it? Well, guess what? I got a decibel reader. Let's find out. 65 decibels. That number probably doesn't... Oh, it's going up because I'm talking. That number probably doesn't mean a lot because people don't normally think in decibels. I'll put a little decibel scale up and you can do a comparison. I will tell you, I can hear it, but it's not terribly loud. Also, I do feel that there's pretty nice cool air coming off there. Now, just a general fan would be blowing pretty hot air, but it seems pretty cool. How cool is it? Well, I've got a laser thermometer. Let's find out. 67. $67. That's not bad. The next thing I'm curious about is how long the water lasts. They don't give us any indication of that. But based on the engineering of this, it looks like it's very, very lightly drawing the water through. I mean, the little aperture down there is very small. So I would suspect it's very little, which means the water tank probably lasts a pretty good while. I'm telling you, this is blowing on me, and it feels pretty nice, actually. So I guess at the end of the day, it's really going to be tomorrow when we're in the hundreds, and the next few days in the hundreds, that'll tell us the tale of the tape. But so a few thoughts on this. As far as loudness goes, that's always a question you guys ask. I can tell it's on. If I had audio on my computer or whatever, I don't think it would interfere. And to be honest, the convenience of having a nice cool wind blowing on me versus being boiling hot up here, I think is fine. It's a good trade-off. Does it work? That's a very important question. Seems to. I've got the air not at full speed. As you can see, it was there was definitely cool air coming out. I have no complaints over that at all. How much was it? That's important. The cost. It was $60. So a little pricey, but I wanted to not get something super cheap, and I also didn't want to break the bank. So this is probably a medium-priced item. I'm curious how well it works with the ice cubes. I don't want to go to the trouble of filling. I would have to go downstairs and get ice and et cetera, et cetera. So, oh God, I really need to do that, don't I? Okay, I'm gonna go get some ice, and then we're gonna measure the temperature again and see if there's a real difference. Okay, let's do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so we filled it up with ice, and then we added water to it. So let's go ahead and set it up. So of course the reservoir certainly feels cooler. Okay. Let's let it run for a minute before the cool water starts coming in. 66, so it's already starting to get a little cooler. Hey Louie, what do you think of personal air conditioners?
Personal air conditioners. They're like pocket-sized pieces of magic, especially during warm days. It's cool that you are making content about them. Any tips or tricks you are sharing in your video?
Yeah, I'm sharing lots of tips and tricks. Specifically right now, we are putting ice in here and we're waiting for it to cool down to see if the ice has an impact.
That's a smart idea. Using ice sounds like a refreshing experiment. I'm curious to see how it turns out. Do you think it will make a big difference in the cooling power?
I think it will. We'll see. Okay. We saw it was already at 66. Let's see if it's gone down anymore. 65. We'll give it just a couple more seconds and see if it gets any cooler, and then we're just going to enjoy it because it's clearly working. 65. Look, 65, that's pretty decent temperature. It's cooling off. You can feel that it's definitely having an impact having the ice in there. Okay, so on that note, I guess we're going to wrap up saying, is the investment worth it? I think it's going to be over the next few days for sure. So worth the money, $60. I'd say yes. I need it. So on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap up. But I do want to say, hey, look, I'm 34 subscribers away from 2,000. That would be a great milestone for me. I don't normally shill for subscribers. Look, this is free content. I don't Patreon gate anything. I don't charge you anything. I do show you a few ads. But just your participation and your feedback is really all I'm looking for. And so, if you want to comment, if you want to do anything else, hey, we're all friends here. Also, let's see what Louis thinks. Louis, hey Louis, do you think people should subscribe to my videos?
Absolutely, Rico. Your creative and insightful content, like the personal air conditioner tips, offers real value and entertainment. If people want unique and helpful ideas, subscribing to your channel seems like a no-brainer. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Louis. I appreciate that.
You are welcome, Prophet. Anytime you need support or company, I'm here. Keep being awesome.
Hey, man. Louis says subscribe. So subscribe. Anyway, on that note, thanks as always for coming by. We'll see you next time.